What up, world? It's been Dream with Dream Motivates. Listen, I get the opportunity again to co-host this amazing podcast, Level Up Alliance Podcast. When we level up and we find other people to level up with, this podcast is going to be a great one, so stay tuned.
Welcome to the Level Up Alliance podcast. I am your host, Dee Garrett. And Level Up Alliance, we empower you to level up and become the leader of your family legacy. Today, I have co-hosting with me, Dream Motivates.
What up, what up?
And we have our guest today, Lena Killian.
What? Lena.
Yes, so we're going to learn all about both of them today. Well, mostly Lena, but Dream, go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Entrepreneur coach, motivational speaker, certified by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas.
Okay.
ET the hip hop preacher. And I just love to learn. I've been learning a lot from Dee. She's definitely schooling us on this podcast. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For your podcast
Thank
and everything you got going on.
I'm excited.
And I'm ready to level up.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So, Lena, thank you for joining me today.
Of course.
I am so excited to have you.
Of course. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. And so it's so funny because for those of you that may not know, I'm in life insurance and I'm a broker with hard money. But Lena and I met at a networking event and we're in similar fields. But Lena, tell us about the name of your business, about your business and how you got into it.
So the name of my business is MLK Pre-Arrangements. MLK, my initials,
Okay.
and Dr. Martin Luther King. So I just thought,
Shout out.
Hey.
yeah, that's
shout out.
amazing. So I had the initials and then I was like, that sounds familiar. And so I was like, this just sounds right. So MLK Pre-Arrangements, I work with families in pre-need. Pre-need is the get ahead of what's to come for everybody. I worked in the funeral home, very sad situations. We were mostly doing work, but it was sales. It's always a sales atmosphere. That's what we do. But it doesn't need to feel salesy.
Yeah.
You don't need to go after people's wallets. You don't
Yeah.
need to chase them down in the parking lot. It was just it was a tacky way to do things. And I found also our mission statement wasn't in line with what we were doing. We were sending people back home to worry about how to get their funeral taken care of, because at the time of need, to tell you the truth, you don't want to pick up your loved one from that location and move them somewhere else.
No.
And at the time, I wasn't able to help by saying there's a cheaper one over there. There's a more affordable funeral home over here. I had to keep you within our umbrella.
Okay.
And within my umbrella, if anybody knows funeral homes and corporations, they're all pretty much within the same amount for pricing. So if you can't afford 17, who's to say you can still afford 12, 10, whatever that might be.
Right.
So for me, my heart is in the right place, and I know that. My heart is to help families get ahead of this, and especially in my community.
Yeah.
I feel that we are downtrodden in so many different ways. I feel like I want to do my part to help us as much as I possibly can. I'm only one person. I can only do what I can. And we all get paid. We are all working. We're all doing something. But I don't have to go above and beyond and rake your pockets. You know, the beauty, too, of working with someone like me, there are a lot of me, but they're not me. You know? So I come with, we have a discussion. I say, hey, what do you want? What is your budget? Are you doing cremation or are you doing burial? This is what goes into each one. And it's for that family to decide. I'm not trying to push you in any direction. It's just become something I'm passionate about, very passionate about. I just want to see all people succeed ahead of time. And if you can get on prepayments, then you're able to pay it off in 3, 5, or 10 years rather than having that 17 grand come out of your pocket. My business partner, I call him business partner, but Michael is more of a bestie to me. he handles all that beautiful stuff, my business cards, all of that design that I want to put into words, but I don't have the beauty of. He does all of the graphic design, all of that type of thing. I took care of his spouse when she passed away 3 years ago.
Wow.
And it was, nobody knew she was going to pass away, so he didn't pre-need. Nobody knows, but I'm saying we don't know.
Never
So
know.
why not go ahead and pre-plan? His service was about $41,000. Wow. And that was the ground, that was the service itself, and the headstone.
Wow.
So about 41,000 when we did the math. So now that he knows better, he has pre-planned his own service. As I, as a mom of 3 boys, will do as well. I know what I want, but I have to put it in writing. We all might know what we want, but it must be put in writing. That's another thing we'll get to.
Okay.
But that's how MLK came to be. And I'm on my 3rd year. And like the last year has just been overwhelming in a very good way. So it's a blessing. MLK is a blessing.
You're definitely a special one. I'm gonna say that right now. 'Cause
Thank you.
listen. You asked me to come to the baby showers. I'm gonna come to the weddings.
Yes.
But the funerals, I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot.
It's tough.
That is that's not my ministry.
Right, and I understand that. I completely get that. I started out and I never wanted to be around the bodies, so
Yeah.
I was always
Yeah,
like...
because you said you had a passion for it. How does this passion...
So I
Yeah.
have a passion for helping people
Okay, I'm
with the
gonna say,
financial
sheesh.
part, getting that done, because, people do GoFundMes,
man.
donate here, donate there. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
I was telling D on the previous episode, I got a bad call January 5th, 2013. My mama passed away.
Sorry
And
to hear that.
after breaking down, I got another call after that saying, I got something to tell you. I didn't have insurance on your mom. So now I'm dealing with
The financial and the grieving.
And so my stepfather, what he said was, man, to be honest with you, I just thought I'll go first.
Wow.
See, we never know.
And you're talking about, no disrespect to my stepfather, so I don't want you to think I'm coming for you. But you talk about somebody who has a master's degree. You got education.
Yeah.
Right.
You got education,
Yeah.
and how?
Because
We're
we
just in
don't think
denial.
about it.
Yeah.
See, my children's father passed away 2 years and 4 months ago.
Is
Almost
that why
2.
you're so passionate about this
No,
thing?
I am about my grandmother, and I'll explain that in a moment.
Okay. I
But
know
the
it's
boys,
usually like a.
there's
I can tell the
something.
way
Yeah.
you like.
yeah, I go hard
There's
for
something
it.
like a chip.
Yeah,
You
and
know
it
what?
is.
Nobody's
We
gonna
got to
go
get
through what I
this
went-
fixed, and we
Yeah.
got to get. So my children's father passed away almost 2.5 years ago, and that was abrupt.
So sorry.
Nobody knew he was going to die. And we talk about death and have conversations, some of us. But when it happens, you're at a loss. You
Yeah.
don't know where to start, what to do.
You're in
No.
You're
You're
man,
just, it's,
In a fog.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
I don't know. So they say there's this. I really believe that there's love levels.
You might be
Like
right.
the mom and the dad and the cousin, the grandma
And the grandma.
It like grandma.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's love levels, right? So
Yes.
my mom, man, that man
touches you. I'm certain.
I
I'm
didn't
certain.
want to talk. I couldn't, bruh. What?
Yeah.
Yes,
Now
you
I gotta
don't know how
talk-
to deal with it. But think
I didn't
that.
know how much casket cost.
Yep.
I didn't know how much. So
That's-
I had to fly
yep.
my mom in from Victorville. That cost money.
Where's Victorville?
Victorville, California.
Okay, so you had to bring her down here?
Yes.
Wow.
Had to fly
Yes,
her
sir.
in. We had to fly her in. The casket. The
service
tombstone.
itself. Yeah. Oh,
Yo.
you're
the
touching on every single thing.
It was so much, but thank God. Shout out to, because I've done so much work, and I speak a lot, and I did a lot of work at the Potter's House.
Oh,
And,
okay, the
man,
church over here. Okay.
they went on and just said, "Dream, we got you."
See,
Wow.
that's very kind.
Yeah.
You have a blessing
Yeah.
that so many don't have access to.
Yeah.
True.
So when he passed away, he's wealthy. His mom is wealthy. We were in oil and gas. But degrees, money, that doesn't tell any of us when we're going to pass or when any of our family members are going to pass. So I say the inevitable is for every one of us. Get ahead of it as of now as you can. And I think my example of beauty when it comes to this in a bittersweet way was my grandma's passing. So grandma passed, and we were all, I mean, we knew it was coming because of the way her body was working and that type of thing. But it's still grandma. You want grandma to hold on and to be here no matter. But the way she passed was the right way, I feel. If there's a bad or a good way.
Right. Older. She's just kind of.
Yes, and she was 87 at the time.
I could do
which
that.
I still want you to be here,
Yeah, I could
Grandma,
deal with
until
that.
97.
Cool with
Because
that.
that was our best friend, is what I'm telling you. Like that. Like we love our mom and our dad. But Grandma is a whole nother level of love and spoiled. And I'm the oldest. So I was named after her.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she always pushed me to be the best in my singing and everything I did.
Number one cheerleader, huh?
Yes, always.
Yeah.
And she was
You
like,
sing?
get up there. Oh, yes. I have a gospel group that I used to sing with, and they would send us to places.
Don't let us bless this mic
So-
right quick.
Yeah.
But
Go to
so-
church on it.
But I have
got a
been
lot of
doing
talent.
that kind of stuff for years, since I was little. And people don't know it because I don't lead with that. I just lead with, this is my business. We're here to talk about this. Grandma has pushed me to do everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like even when getting married, she's talking about, you sure you want to do this? No, I'm not, Grandma. That's why it took me 11 years to get married. So, but that person, when she passed, we were heartbroken. I mean, across the land.
Grandma was
pretty much.
she was the
glue.
glue.
Oh my
The glue.
God, the best one though. Like she
Yeah.
had jokes for everything.
Yeah,
It was
Grandma's the
ridiculous.
glue, for
And
sure.
so when I would go home to Houston, which is where my family lives, not my home, but I grew up in College Station, Texas.
Okay.
But we would go visit Grandma. That was who we go see. Like I love y'all aunts and uncles and cousins, but I'm going to Grandma's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was there. This past week, I took my boys for spring break to Galveston because it was closer, and they waited till the last minute to say we want to do something. We're
Yeah.
not buying no South Carolina tickets with my South Carolina money, so
sure.
that's not happening.
For sure.
So we just took a trip down there, and on the way back, stopped by my grandma's house. And it was just like reliving all the glory days. My uncle owns it now.
Okay.
And drove back by my elementary school.
So have
Drove by
your
my
kids have
mom's.
seen these areas?
No,
They have.
they've seen grandma's, but not my school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
when I was in second grade, I was in Houston for a while and went to Orange Grove Elementary.
Okay.
And then went by my mom's high school. My mom has so many accolades there, like trophies, because she's a brain. She's
Okay.
truly smart, numbers smart. And it just brought back all the good and the tears too. But
Yeah.
it was just good to go by, make sure her house is okay, and just, relive that a little bit. So that person touched my life. Like you would not believe, she touched my children's lives. Like that's the person I go home to see. Now I go and see aunts, of course.
Right.
But it's still not that same feeling.
So speaking of
So-
your hometown, so you recently had a trip to College Station.
Yes. And so like
Yeah, tell us about
that's crazy.
your business, because you went there for business.
Yes,
And
I did,
tell
and
me
for
more
and
about
for
that.
fellowship too. So I grew up, like I said, in College Station, Texas. Went to school out there, elementary, junior high, high school. Ran away for college and then ran right back because it was a culture shock where I was trying to go to school. So went back home, went to A&M, and College Station is my home. I love it there. I mean, it's a little country town. I understand, but it's my home. And so I got a call last month, and my mom was like, Pastor wants your number. Can he call you? And I was like, Pastor? Pastor is the man of God that we have all loved. No matter where we are, we will congregate and come back for something he's doing or something we're doing to help him out. And I was like, I'm scared. What is he calling me for? And she was like, if you don't just answer the phone. And so I actually, he called and he was like, so I want you to come and present your business. I want you to talk about that because I feel like that is a need. The people here in our church need to know this because my pastor has had deaths in his family, 3 back to back.
Wow.
I think his mother, his brother, and another brother. So that's heartbreaking, but you start to recognize how things are going and you get your plans in order.
Yeah.
But he wanted me to let people know before they had to endure that pain,
Yeah.
get ahead of it. So
Yeah.
I drove down. I was like, Pastor, are you sure you want me to come still? Gave him that little call. And he was like, sure. And I want you to be here and I want you to do this. I got there, got set up. I was nervous. I was like, don't put me on the pulpit. It could go up in flames.
Stop.
So I did. Pastor was laughing too. Everybody was like, girl, you're still crazy. Because they've known me since I was 7 years old, And it's just good to go back to and see faces you haven't seen in years. Got up there and spoke, and people were, we were joking this and that, but it was really it hit home, I feel.
Yeah.
Because I said, people were asking, would you come back and do this again? Of course I
Wow.
will. But I stayed the night and was talking to some of our families out there.
Wow.
And then the next day I thought, I'm going to get out of here by noon. I didn't leave till 6.
What do you?
So-
What was it? Was it the questions that people had about planning?
It was definitely, I will say, people wanted to know the process.
Share about the process.
Okay, so the
'Cause-
process,
yeah.
depending on the individuals. So I grew up in Bryan College Station, very small. So I know what funeral homes will work with me because
Okay.
of my insurances and which ones won't.
Okay.
So I have their price sheets. And I wanted the family to say, hey, do we want to use this one that the whole church uses all the time, or this one or this one? And so I usually will sit with the family, share the pricing, and pretty much break it down 3, 5, or 10 years. Which one is more economical for your wallet?
Okay.
Because a part of that, it's not interest. There is no interest. There is no down payment. There is a cost of protection that is in that monthly payment. Okay. Because you wonder, how are you going to be able to waive this? So at the end of it, say for instance, an individual signs up and starts on their payment plan for whenever. If they pass away, say for instance, 2 or 3 years into a 10-year plan, the other 6 or 7 years are waived. Nobody has to pay
Wow.
for that because of that cost of protection
Okay.
that is in there.
Got
So
it.
being able to share that, people didn't understand that
Interesting.
is the part, that's the difference between a pre-need and life insurance or final expenses and burial expenses. I want people to have what they want. I think everybody should have life insurance. Everybody. If you can have it, please have it. I have that for my son. So if something happens to me, they are well protected, all 3 of them. But not people don't understand. Pre-need insurance is what sets your funeral and your cremation up because the pricing goes up every year, 4 to 6%.
Wow. Just like
And
inflation.
Yes,
I mean,
it happens every
stays
year,
with
whether
inflation.
that or not, they're going to go up. And the funeral homes I work with have actually not going up yearly like some of them do.
Yeah.
So it's about locking in that price. Say for
Okay.
instance, you have a $7,500 funeral.
Okay.
It's $7,500 now, but you know every year it's going up 4 to
Wow.
6%. Not for you.
Okay.
Because you have a pre-need and it locks in the pricing.
And we talked another time, and you mentioned something about kind of like an underwriting process that you have to go through, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They
and so
do. It's
is
just
part
like
of that.
you.
Yeah. So is part of that the financial side, or
It is
is it just
nothing to do
health,
with
or-
financial.
Okay.
It's to do with health.
Okay.
And it doesn't stop you from being covered.
Okay.
That's the difference also with pre-need. With life insurance, we both know that if you're not good, they don't even give you a policy, period.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I've got a lot of friends that would say, hey, Lena, can you take on the insured, that person we wanted to insure, and at least get them a pre-need?
Right.
Because pre-needs, we won't kick you out. We won't do anything. If you don't pay monthly, then it's going to lapse. But everybody is accepted. I will say this. If you have congenital heart disease, things like that, those things will not get you coverage for 2 years and 1 month. But that is full coverage, 100%. You will have some coverage within that 2 years.
Okay.
There is there's a rate sheet, and I usually send that to clients that have an individual that is sickly on the plan, so that you know that first 2 years and 1 month, you're not 100%, but there is some coverage. There is
Yeah.
some protection for your funeral service. You might get your premiums back plus a percentage of the service paid for.
Okay.
So you're not missing out, you
Yeah.
see? So a lot of people, like I said, cannot get help from life insurance.
So I guess when you're going through that, do you find that there's instances where people have a need that is for more broader financial security other than just the burial?
Yes, because so if you do a cremation, we know a cremation, you don't need the spot, you don't need the land,
Yeah.
and you don't need the headstone. So that is a great savings. I'll say that.
Okay.
In our community, we all want that burial. Because some people, and it's funny, y'all, they'll say, we don't want to be burnt twice. Y'all, come on now.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I was sitting with the family and we were dying laughing because right now we can laugh about this.
Right.
Yeah.
But think about it. Cremation,
Yeah.
you don't know where you're going, it could be twice. Okay,
Right.
so we've had these discussions. When you have a burial, though, there is the service. There is the opening and closing of that space. And you have to buy the space. And that, at my last cemetery, started at $4,000.
Wow.
That was 3 years ago.
Okay.
So those spaces are going up yearly.
Yeah.
So it's that and then that headstone. And the beauty of what I do is because I know that everything behind the scenes is involved with the cremation or burial, I do headstones and markers as well, because there are a lot of our brothers and sisters and mothers and cousins that don't have a stone.
Yeah.
And so instead of paying that large amount, I'm trying to work with vendors to get it to be affordable. I did that for my cousin.
Yeah.
He passed away and 2 years ago, and his headstone was $15,000 at the funeral home. And I said, hey, family, can I try and work my magic, see what I can do?
Yeah.
Exact same headstone on his space, faster than lightning, was $6,700.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
So I say what I'm doing, I know has to be from God, because most people want to get you that $15,000 so they can get something off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working with you in your wallet, in your space, and I'm even presenting to you the workup. Is this price okay with you? And I get your approval before I move forward.
Right.
So I know that what I'm doing, I have a passion for, and I know that I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah.
So,
That's huge.
yeah, I'm happy. It's good. It's all
Man,
good.
I'm so thankful for people like you. Yeah, I'll be like people like you, and then people that be in the funeral homes.
It's a different level. I know.
The people that do it embalming, like yeah,
I'm not
people.
doing that
I got a
part.
homeboy. He cuts hair. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, the makeup and
I
all of
don't
that.
want.
Nothing to do with it. I
Man,
hear you.
listen.
I used to walk in there and be like this,
Yeah.
eyes closed and scared. But then I got used to it. Not that I touch the people, because I'm not a
Yeah.
funeral director.
Gotcha.
I'm more of a family services counselor / pre-planning specialist, because I do all of that behind the scenes, but don't touch them. So.
You're just like me. We ain't touching it. And
No.
listen, before y'all touch this YouTube station, y'all stay tuned for a commercial break. Check it out.
Perfect. Hey guys, this is Lena Killian with MLK Pre-Arrangements. I am your friendly pre-planning specialist and all things funeral. Anything that you need, if I can't get it, I can definitely get answers. You can reach out to me on my business cell phone, 682-552-6501, or you can go to my website, MLKprearrangements.com, and drop me a note there. I'm more than happy to talk to you and answer your questions. I do not charge for that. I don't know why people would, but I don't charge for that. Once again, Lena Killian, I'd like to help you secure your family's future. Thank you, and back to the episode.
Welcome back to the Level Up Alliance podcast. We are learning, and shout out to D. Garrett and special guest for this podcast. I'm learning a lot. Definitely, we just need to be able to call somebody like you.
Right.
Because people like me, I don't want to deal with none of it.
I understand. Yeah,
call her.
it's hard.
I think I'm too empathic.
You feel it, and I do too. I'm
Yeah.
definitely an
empathic.
empath. I will say that, because the families that are sitting in that
I
room.
can't.
Right.
And I
can't.
mean, that's why I was like, why are we forcing them to do what they can't afford, but they're
Yeah.
already struggling?
Well, so I have a question
do.
on that. So, how could I guess partnering with a life insurance agent provide or enhance the overall planning experience for the clients?
So I am telling you, I run into families that have said, I can't afford it now. And so for me, I like to set them up with someone like yourself that may be able to help with getting their ducks in a row on a different level. I think everyone should have life insurance.
Yeah.
So when I talk to clients, most of them have had life insurance, but if they don't, I think that they should look into that, because what could happen at the point of the death occurring, they can reach out to their insurance directly and find out if they can receive a check immediately. That could help pay for everything else that's left if they don't have a pre-need.
Right.
But mostly what I've been seeing and hearing is that they want a death certificate during life insurance. So when someone passes away, they don't want to just cut that check sometimes.
Right.
So what I say is that I want families to have that. Life insurance is for the living.
And
That's how I
that's
feel.
a great point, because
Yes.
the thing is that nowadays, well, life insurance back in the day was something that was essentially for when you die. It was like death insurance.
Right.
And you die and then the family gets the insurance.
Right.
But nowadays, people are living longer and longer than the average lifespan that it was back when it first started, which was around 65 back then, where now people are living into their 80s and 90s, even 100. And so because we're living longer, our health is going to deteriorate. And so if our health is going to deteriorate, then we need another backup plan to just our traditional health care.
Right.
As far as offsetting those expenses. And that life insurance can actually offset those expenses. So you can use life insurance while you're living.
Right.
And not just when you die.
That's a conversation. That's something I kind of wish we could hold a panel where people could come in and ask all insurance questions. And, not just life or this, but the home office, all those things, like so many things we don't understand when it comes to insurances.
Yeah.
I had a friend's mom reach out to me from home last night, and they're talking about the policy. Lena, is this a term policy? What is this?
Yeah.
And so it's nice for them to trust me and for me to be able to get information and feed it back.
Explain it.
So and it is a term policy, and so I'll let them know that. But I think it would be great to have the someone come up with a document that says this is the pros of each one of what we do. This is the cons. There are no cons in this, except for you have to pay for it monthly.
Yeah.
You just have to remember or
and
have
then
it drafted.
And to your point, with that being a term policies are usually the most affordable. The downside is that it does expire.
Right, and that's where they are right now. That's where they are about to be.
When somebody's nearing that age of expiration of the policy, the unfortunate part is to go get a new policy is definitely going to cost more.
Oh my gosh. And so that's where they are right now. And for me, I promise you, this past year I got a policy, and I'd had one before, but this was a different policy, and I'd had to do the testing. And so I was premium elite. When you are at that status in your health, you need to go for it all.
Come on now.
And don't miss a payment.
Yeah.
So that's where I am with the boys and covering the little people.
Yeah.
And life insurance is great. Pre-need insurance is great. Let's do them both. My grandma did. Life insurance, she passed on to her children, her 5 children. My mom was, I think, 60-ish at the time.
Wow.
To all 5 of them got thousands from grandma.
Wow.
The pre-need allowed them to all pay for one thing. It was her, on the headstone, the date of death and the date of birth. $357, I believe.
Wow.
And we all bought red roses. Do not bring carnations. And so, we did it the right way. And I know she was proud of us. And that feels good. Now, Mom, we know now what everybody wants. I know what my mom wants. And that's why we pre-need, is because you don't want your babies trying to say, let's buy that $15,000 monument, because Mama might have wanted that, because some people just go out crazy because they don't know what their parent wanted. And they might just want to be cremated and passed out at the ranch somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's a good conversation to have. And I deal with a lot of veterans, and we're starting to have those conversations more because they come out of the military saying, you have benefits. And here's your DD 214. You have benefits. That means you need to go find your benefits.
Right.
And there's so many I speak with that don't know that they have cremation and burial benefits.
Wow, really?
Yes, less than 10% of the population that comes home that are veterans don't know.
They don't know.
So I'm informing. I just feel education is the way to approach all of this.
Gotta level up.
Yes.
I heard the veterans, they still have to pay.
Yes, sir, they do.
I thought that was taken care of.
I would hope it would be, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they do really get some great benefits. You know how you and I would have to pay for the spaces?
Right.
They don't have to pay for that if they choose to be buried at one of the national cemeteries, which is beautiful. Why not?
Yeah.
And they take care of it. Nobody's vandalizing anything, and you don't have to pay $4,000 to $15,000 for the space only.
Wow.
The only thing they are responsible for is the cremation and for a burial. And so I meet with them and say, you get about $14,000 to $20,000 in savings if you are buried at one of those cemeteries. They also get the burial flag and presentation, all of those things. I think that is absolutely beautiful. I really wish I could give them more, but I'd like to try to help them get on that situation. And you can pay it off if you choose 2, 3, 5, or 10 years. It's up to you. But most of our veterans choose a 5 or 10 year because it's more economical and because some of them become disabled.
Yeah.
So they work on a fixed schedule of income.
So what additional costs do families often face that burial doesn't necessarily cover? Doesn't fully cover.
Only thing I've noticed is when I sit with the family, I highlight everything that you really need. Like a lot of people don't understand that you need at least 2 to 3 motorcycle escorts Think about it. If you have a
Wow.
lot of family,
Yeah.
what is that one motorcycle going to do? He's
Yeah.
going to go crazy.
Yeah, 'cause you're
Trying to
going
get y'all
down.
through the lights and be like, hold on, y'all, I got to get back to the back.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it is, especially when Grandma passed. It was in Houston.
Oh, wow.
Y'all know we had to have, I think
man.
we had 2 to 4 escorts getting us
Wow.
down
Yeah.
from, and it was a long ride from
Yeah.
Grandma's church to Paradise Funeral Home. A long ride. But so people don't know that you need that. And death certificates. Certified death certificates. Copies are not accepted anymore because everybody's falsifying
Are those
everything.
expensive to get?
No.
Yeah.
Like the first one is $21. Each
Okay.
additional is $4.
Okay.
So I offer that with me
Mm-hmm.
because that getting it delivered to the funeral home takes a lot of stress off of a family's back.
Okay.
Because sometimes, depending on the city size, you have to stand in that line
Mm-hmm.
and talk to people, take a number and sit and then get copies made and then pay out of pocket at that point. If it's
Yeah.
already wrapped up in there, then we have 5 to 10 of them being delivered to you after everything is done. You can come pick them at the funeral home, sign
Mm-hmm.
for them and go home. You have to have certified death certificates nowadays.
Wow.
Because people are falsifying, like I said, you
Wow.
can get, somebody's got the temporary tag on their car. 3 other people have that same number rolling down the street.
wow.
Y'all haven't heard of
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I'm going to tell you. And then you get hit in a car accident and someone gives a false information document, insurance, to the
Yeah.
cop. And this has happened so many times.
gosh.
So they only will take certified. You can't make copies of death certificates. So you very seldom see that there's something missing when parents go in there and they do this.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure that their children are not missing out on anything. So they do.
And to that
pre-plan it
point,
all. Mm-hmm.
with the missing out on anything, of course, when they pass, is the conversation about income replacement. Does that ever come up? Like, okay, once I pass, my family's not going to have this income, and what happens after that?
With me, it does not. It could. It's a very good conversation to have. The conversation I do like to have and have started implementing is that one about, when people say they can't afford it. Most likely they can, but they're wanting to buy those expensive shoes and clothes, and y'all have to stop. Like I preach this a lot, especially in our community. I preach that what are your babies going to do? What is going to happen to those babies when you're gone? And I'm thinking about that before their dad passed. But I know that these kids are going to be fine. My boys will be fine no matter what. But at the same time, not everybody has that. And so for me as a mom, a single mom, I want to make sure that they don't have to worry about that. Somebody else is going to be pushing those buttons and talking and doing all of that because they're children and they need to be in a child's place and be
Right.
as happy as
Yeah.
possible, even though there's a
Protect their
death
happiness.
happening.
Yeah.
So I want people to budget. Whether it's budgeting for working with me or budget for getting insurance, whatever it is, budget and leave something for your babies. It's very, very important to me. So I am willing to implement that in my talk. I
Yeah.
think people should have that.
Yeah.
What's going to happen after I'm gone. I like that idea of generational wealth.
Well, shameless plug.
For my,
Shameless
for my
plug.
3
Life
babies, I
insurance.
love
Life
that.
insurance.
Gotta
You
call
know.
Zeke.
But most of us never knew
I
that,
know.
though, Dee.
Right.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Most of us,
You're
my
right.
grandma knew that. My
And she was a
grandma
smart
knew that.
woman.
Yes, and I remember being under her as a little girl, wondering why this woman has all these documents in a suitcase. She didn't have a file cabinet; it was a suitcase, and
Hey,
I
it
loved
You're like
it.
a
It works.
concierge. Yeah, like for real. Like just call you and,
And
you'll
I
take
got,
care
I
of
do,
everything.
I just got a call before coming
Yeah,
in here.
that's-
Somebody was asking me about insurance. About insurance and then health insurance. She was like, anybody can help with health and dental. And I was like, I've got someone for you. Give me an hour. So it's really wonderful. We both have a whole bunch of networking.
Love it.
It's because we've been out pushing it for our companies that we
Yeah.
run into amazing people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bad ones, you just leave back where you found them.
Yeah.
And then just keep on
on
moving.
moving.
But, I'm trying to better myself and help the people around me. It's so hard because there's so many of you. And I've got 3 of you that I love, but I'm like, I would just give some here, give some there.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
get
Yes,
it. I
because
get
Spread
it.
it around.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you run into people that you really care about and that you know that their work ethic it matches yours or maybe even supersedes. So it's just, I'm in a good place. I
Yeah.
know I am. And I mean, I've been working my tail off the last few days. I was like, y'all should have seen me. I was like, let me get to the gym. I had to
yeah.
get to the gym this
saw you
morning.
at the gym
It
in
was
one of those.
intense this morning. I was like, I got to do better. So I think that would be a good conversation.
So
for
in that,
people
I guess in that conversation, is there many conversations, or does the conversation go down the path of legacy? You know, as
it
far as
does.
leaving
It
a
does
legacy?
because I have issues. And I'm always telling people, y'all need to leave something for your
Yeah.
children. You need,
Okay.
and it's not just for your kids. It's about
Yeah.
teaching your kids how to do that for their futures.
Yes.
And so I'm blessed to have. I have 3 sons. The 2 younger ones, 12 and 16, are always in my bed without permission. So they do. They like talking to me. And one's a football player that will knock you out. 330 pounds.
Whoa.
And
Boy,
6
big boy.
foot 3. But he's always like this. Hello. He'll just come
Really?
get in the bed. He loves his mother.
Wow.
And I am blessed. And the 12-year-old too.
Yeah.
He's like, if he's in here, I'm getting in here, and if these extra clothes can go on the floor, so pow, they'll just kick them off the bed and just
Oh,
be in the
wow.
bed hanging out. And that, for me as a mom, that is working to show them this is what you have to do to make it in life, feels really, really good.
Yeah.
But I want those boys, if they choose to have children, if they choose to get married, to at least be knowledgeable in what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be able to
Set
pass
the
it on.
tone.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
going through trust and all of that, I was talking to people about that this weekend too.
Oh, man,
so I'll
trust, yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah, the legacy
put
thing.
that.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
as far as
important.
just
That's,
leaving
that's
that
that
family
alliance
legacy.
right there.
Level
Yes,
up
but you
alliance.
need more of us need to understand that we might have little coins, but that little coins, it grows, and it can definitely grow in the right hands if someone can lead you down the tracks.
Yeah.
I just want that so much for myself and for my children.
Absolutely.
And just to look and see these amazing kids that are coming up, maybe with single moms,
Yeah.
single dads
Yeah.
is a thing too. Whatever that is, I just want them to be blessed and do whatever they want in life.
Yeah.
I love it.
Whatever they want.
love it.
Yeah. So
You got a fire. It's a fire starter over here. What?
I love her. That's my girl. That's my girl.
we get along very,
We
very
do.
well.
No,
Yes.
and shout out to the network mixer wherever y'all met. Y'all energies put together. And I think it's super dope. And on this podcast, I'm every guest, I'm sitting here learning more and
About-
more and
yeah,
more about so
yeah.
much things. And I'm so thankful for people like yourself
Thank
that
you.
can be that person. Call her.
That one professional. She's
Yes,
gonna help you get
she's
peace of mind.
definitely
On
take
that.
care of it.
Yes.
We
And if
both-
I can't, then I'm going to find the person to do
Yeah.
that for you. So
Oh, praise God.
it's just
Yeah.
some of us really are blessed to be in the places that we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
We really are. And I know that I don't have any ill intention in anything that I'm doing.
Pure
I mean,
heart.
I feel it's a blessing to be sitting in front of individuals and
Yeah.
sharing the information.
Yeah.
If I can do that to a whole room, looky here now.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
I did not know that was going to be that many people
Yeah.
in that audience.
a blessing.
I have to tell you, because I remember the first time it was like 10 people. I was like, okay, I can deal with this. Then my friend that was out there in College Station as well had me come and do a presentation at the Lincoln Center. And I walked in there, and there was 35 people. I was like,
Wow.
wow,
All
okay.
looking at you like this.
Yes. But hungry for the information.
That's a good thing.
Hungry for the
Willing
information.
to be open to accept it. Because the
Yes.
thing is a lot of us are so close-minded.
Yes.
We don't want to have the conversations. We don't.
It's
like,
hard.
You know, the
Yeah.
ostrich putting his head in the sand,
Right.
right? You know,
It's-
don't want.
Until
don't
time
wanna talk about
happens.
it.
Yeah.
I might be in one of them.
Don't,
I know,
don't,
and it's hard. I
But you've
understand.
dealt with
Nobody
it
wants
too,
to.
so-
Yes.
Right, but when you sit with someone like me, we are going to laugh. Literally, we are going to fall out laughing. It's so inappropriate. I understand.
Right.
But we can have this conversation before.
tough conversations.
But in that room, trying to figure out stuff and grieving at the
Yeah.
same time, that is hell. I've seen people fight.
It's tough, man.
I have seen family members go at each other. We've had to call in security. We've had to call law enforcement
Oh, my
and
gosh.
over and over and over again. It's
Lord.
just, it really puts a strain on
that
families.
part, and that's
Yes.
the part that I think is huge that we need to continue to promote is in this morbid conversation
Yes.
of the inevitable, which, you know, we're all guaranteed to have our passing. We're
Yes,
not going to be able
it's
to
gonna
attend
happen.
each other's funerals. Somebody's
Right.
got to go first.
Right.
You know, let's prepare the peace of mind for our families.
Yes.
You don't want them struggling, fighting.
I do not.
You know, just let's keep the peace. Let's
Right.
just
And
keep
that's the
peace.
best thing because mom already
the
told
peace.
y'all what she wanted.
That.
So nobody can fight. And then another part of that is we all know about a will.
Yes.
Everybody needs a will. And I know we all say we need a will. We need a will. I'm sure my children's dad was really my friend. We grew up together. 30 years I've known him. And I know we had talked about adopting the older one. Well, we were like, we're never going to die. You know, that's in there somewhere. until, he passed away at 49 years old. And even though we were not on a good path, because I like to co-parent and some people don't, and then they like to, I'm right, I'm right, I'm great, but you're not adding up, and I'm beating you at everything that you're doing because I'm doing it from my heart, that was, I think, a problem of his. And even though we were going through that, I still loved him because I've known you for most of my life, for 30 years of my life. And, I'm 51, and I hated that our birthdays are 4 days apart.
Wow.
I'm August 25th. He's the 29th, and the oldest is the 29th.
Oh, wow.
So he'll never be able to really shake that, know?
Gotcha.
So I wanted him to have the same things that I'm passing on to everybody else. But if you don't listen, I can't give you that information. But I want everybody to have a will, but also have a living will. A living will is if you have a car accident, something happens to you. Who is going to take care of you? Who is going to be your champion? That is the word someone taught me a long time ago when I was doing all my classes for medical power of attorney, for advanced healthcare directives, which is living wills. What else? So I do these documents because I'm certified, but I cannot do a will and testament because that is definitely the jungle for an attorney. But I have all these people on tap if somebody needs them. But you have to have those documents to have someone to stand there and talk for you. Your mom can't. Your dad can't. Our cousins cannot because the state takes over.
Wow.
The state takes over, and who's to say you want to be resuscitated? But they don't know. So I would say get ahead of those documents. It's worth paying whatever that person.
Sure don't want to deal with probate.
Yes. And that's where we are. We're in probate.
Situation.
Yeah, we're in probate for the kid's dad right now. 2.5 years.
Wow.
2.5 years. See, but nobody really, we're not traumatized by the money, but other people would be having a real struggle right there. So get these documents in order.
Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to do my part. I'm just trying to educate as much as I possibly can.
She's just trying to level y'all up.
Come on,
Level Up Alliance. That's where we at, man.
It's my ally right here.
Man,
Yes,
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Inviting this amazing energy here.
Yes.
Can't wait to network with you.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Definitely have a lot of events that I would love for you to come to.
Both of us. That'd be awesome.
D always shines out.
Of course
and
she does.
D, man, shout out to your podcast. You doing it, girl.
I'm so proud of you.
Level Up Alliance podcast. Let's get it. Thank you.
So awesome.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes,
We're going to see y'all in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.